Hey friends, this is Chris. Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to answer a question coming in from the community, and I think it's a good discussion. This is the question here coming in from Amamara 157. My question is, promoting stocks are really legal? If you're getting paid, would that not be market manipulation? If not, maybe we should change the laws so that stock crypto promoting is illegal. If I see some stock or crypto YouTube video, they always have stock/crypto they are promoting. And for me, that is already manipulation of the people who are looking for real advice, how's stock crypto working. I am just a guy that is trying to understand stocks, crypto, not for money or anything, just pure curiosity. And I really appreciate your question, and I want to have a chat with you guys about this stuff because it's an important topic. I just did a video on ticker symbol U. Basically, he's pumping up a penny stock. And in the first video that he made, he didn't disclose that he was paid by the company, which is a really big deal. Why? Because you're not compliant. And to answer your question is like, yes, actually, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, stock promotion in USA is legal, but there are a lot of gray areas. The law is in flux. And I'll talk to you guys about this kind of stuff. First is, generally speaking, you need to disclose that you're being paid by a company or crypto or whatever. And this is not like, an independent opinion. One of the things that I really don't like about, stock promotion on YouTube, my opinion of YouTube may be, different than yours depending on your age. But when I first started watching YouTube, back in the day, and if you guys don't know, I'm 49, so I've been watching YouTube quite a long time. I know a lot of people think I'm a lot younger than I am, but I'm not. I'm 49. And one of the things that I want is an independent point of view, right? I want to flip on YouTube. I want to, get someone's honest and independent opinion of the latest, iPhone, the latest computer, the latest graphics card, or, for example, the latest financial news if you're watching my channel. I just want someone's honest opinion. I don't want a cheerleader or whatever. The thing is, and this is kind of how YouTube has developed with the algorithm, etc. People had figured out, and I'm sure you understand this now, that, hey, if I pay said YouTuber to pump up said things, there's a lot of money into it, right? So whenever you involve a lot of money in this kind of stuff, there are people who, frankly, don't care about the rules. Or they will bend the rules because why not? Or just completely break them because why not? All I have to do is just pay the fine, and essentially, you could say the juice is worth the squeeze for some people. My point of view on this stuff, it never is. For example, Carolyn Ellison, she was like the partner to Sam Bankman-Fried, or well, partner in two, like a business partner and love partner. She just got 2 years in prison. I can't remember what Sam Bankman-Fried got, but he's in prison as well. But that's just one example. But in terms of the, say, stock promotion, there were a bunch of like Twitter promoter people. I think there was 8 of them. There was like a network of people, and they were pumping up stuff on Twitter. I can't remember if they got prison or not, but I remember they got like hefty fines. Kim Kardashian, Floyd Mayweather, they're also promoting crypto. They got fined. But for like Kardashian, I think it might have been $1 million. So for her, it's like a slap on the wrist. But the point I'm trying to say is that like the SEC is starting to crack down on stock promotion on social media, because one of the questions was like, how does this go on? One big problem though is that these government agencies are often underfunded. So they can't possibly, essentially it's whack-a-mole, enforce every single person who's, and this is the big one that they always get them on, is not disclosing that you're being paid. Because it's a big deal, guys. If like, a celebrity comes out and says, hey, everyone, I love, baby doggy crypto or whatever. And for example, say like the Elon Musk situation where he's essentially tweeting out Doge stuff every day. Like, there's a couple of issues with this. So one is, what do we constituting as stock promotion? Is tweeting a meme stock promotion, tweeting a picture? The Keith Gill guy, right? The Roaring Kitty, he tweets out like picture of someone, sitting forward in a chair, and suddenly GameStop stock goes up. Is that stock promotion, right? So there's some definitely gray areas with that. I mean, I think that's in the eye of the beholder. Now, obviously, if someone says, hey, you should buy said stock or you should buy said crypto, it's like obvious promotion. And if they're not disclosing that they're being paid by said, equity, that's an obvious violation. One of the problems, though, is that with social media, is that in order to be popular on social media, you have to talk about things that are popular, right? People want to talk about the hottest crypto or whatever, and they also want to hear good news. I'm sharing this with you because I see comments every single day. If I tell you, hey, it looks like Elon Musk is a liar, it looks like the Tesla stock promoters are all liars, people get sad. They say, I mean, I literally comments, they'll say, Chris, you're just so negative. You're just so negative all the time. It's like, no, I'm telling you the truth. And there's a couple of dilemmas here. One is people who write these, Chris, you're so negative, posts, or Chris, you're so dumb, that kind of stuff. Are these people even real? Who knows, right? Sometimes they could be bots. That's the real thing. I see a lot of bot comments all the time. You'll know it because you'll click on the account and it'll say like made today, that kind of stuff. Or you'll see 3 or 4 comments in a row and they're literally the same kind of wording. You'll see this stuff. When you do YouTube, you'll start to see behind the curtain. You'll be like, oh my God, the bot thing is really, really serious. Another issue is that sometimes, comments could be funded by companies, hedge funds, crypto scams, whatever. So, who knows? And it's like, can the SEC possibly crack down on every single, bot comment out there or every single, paid comment? It's very, very difficult. One of the things that, they have been certainly, and I'll say they in terms of authorities in various, countries have been like looking at, okay, how can we force laws regarding social media? If you're an egregious bot farm in, whatever city, and oftentimes it's going to be in places that are hard to enforce on, be it, Russia, China, etc., it becomes even more difficult, right? So the American SEC, how are they going to charge? And they actually do that. They actually do that. So I give you a simple example. If you want to talk about the Russia and the whole, Tim Pool and all the conservative, commentator people that they got money funding in from, was it Russia? Is it Times or Today? I forget the name. The RT is what it's called. And true story, the RT, the Russian publication or news media, they actually contacted me to work with them. I said no, and I told you guys before in the channel, I said no because there are some things more important than money. There's a lot of things more important than money. Money is just one part of your life, and don't have that be your God because it gets you into all kind of problem. You end up hurting all kinds of people, and you end up hurting yourself. Just don't do it. For me, it's never worth it. And sometimes people say, hey guys, or hey Chris is what they say, is like, how do you stay so young? Well, one way is I don't, grow gray hairs by cheating people all the time, always constantly looking over my back, right? Trying to scam as much money as I possibly can every day. And there's channels out there on YouTube. I'd say most of the channels are like that. This is a simple answer to many, many questions. People always say, oh, Chris, what do you think about X channel? Is X channel, good or not? What do you think about X channel? Is X channel good or bad or whatever? Simple answer. If a channel out there is selling you stock alerts, buy and sell alerts, it's a scam. If there's a channel out there selling you classes and how you're going to be rich, 0 to millionaire, all these, thing out there, it's a scam, right? Anyone selling you that kind of nonsense, it's a scam. My opinion on this stuff is I come out on YouTube and just hang out with you, give you honest opinions on these kind of things, anything really, and I try my best to answer questions. And again, I come from an old school to where that's what I thought YouTube was independent. Sometimes I may say something you don't like, but I'm giving you an independent opinion. I'm not necessarily trying to pander to you. Now, unfortunately though, the way the YouTube algorithm works, and you got to understand this, is that in order to get you to be a subscriber, I have to make you happy, right? I have to tell you you're going to be rich. I have to tell you that all of your cryptos and stocks are going to go to the moon. You're like, oh my God, Chris makes me feel good. I feel so happy. And then you subscribe, right? So that's the sort of like, the world that we live in now is a combination of, weak laws or, underfunded SEC. So you got a lot of like these, people out there basically pumping in nonsense, or people who are just good at YouTube, and that's all they care about, is just pumping up those YouTube numbers as much as possible, make as many people smile, laugh as much as possible. Here's another one, guys, and I know I'm trying to send a stock promotion stuff, but I want to understand how YouTube works. Is oftentimes, people say, oh, Chris, you're so boring. I want to go watch and find another channel that's more fun. And like, if you just sit back and just think about this for a moment here. So, okay, let's say, for example, you have a job at whatever company, and that company does something really, really useful, and they also pay very well, but like, your boss is boring. He's not, he or she, your boss in this company, they're not lying to you. They pay you well, they treat you fine, but they're boring, right? The alternative would be, hey, and there's a documentary I always recommend you guys, is on Netflix called BitCon. Please watch if you haven't. You know, those kind of people, let's say your boss over there, you work over there, and like the boss is like having parties every night. He's like really fun to be around, you know, and it's like he's got the cool car, he's got the cool hair, he wears cool clothes every day, or she, right? It could be he or she. But then you find out they're like, you know, skimming, you know, money from their clients, or skimming money from you. They're cheating people all the time. But guys, they're funny. They're really funny, and this is like the challenge of the world that we live in. With like social media, kids just want like the flashy, funny stuff, and it's not really practical or sustainable, which is something I talk about all the time. Going back to the, and I know I talk about a lot of topics with this thing, but going back to the stock crypto stuff, one of the things that you want to watch out for as well, if you watch stuff on, you know, whatever TV channel, be it CNBC, Bloomberg, or whatever, they got pumpers on TV also. It's in their best interest. Well, it depends what kind of interest you want to talk about, but if they're money managers, fund managers, whatever, hedge funds, it's in their interest to promote whatever stock that they're holding, right? They do it all the time on TV. Oh my God, you got to get this company, you got to get this company. It is so awesome. Get every company that's in my portfolio. We call that talking book, right? And one of the things that they sort of, you know, why is that, you know, legal? Well, if you fully disclose that you're holding said things, and you're not saying anything false, right? You're telling the truth. Now, there's a bit of gray area there because someone can have an opinion, right? So you can't lie about facts, but like you can kind of fudge opinions. So that's where it becomes a gray area. You see what I'm saying? Now, the thing that's sort of tricky about social media and YouTube is there's people out there that just frankly lie to you. It's particularly, well, and there's different types of lies, right? But it's particularly egregious with the Tesla stock promoters. That's why I cover this stuff all the time, because I know there's a lot of people out there getting hurt. How do they lie to you? Well, you know, they'll show you like the balance sheet of a company, and they'll purposely look over like the most important numbers. They do it all the time. Basically, they'll say, hey guys, look at revenue, look at revenue, look at revenue, right? And then they ignore earnings in an earnings report. Just think how ludicrous that is. You look at revenue, but you don't look at earnings, or you don't, you know, earnings/profits, right? Because like you can bring money in, revenue, but like you gotta like account for expenses. It's like a really simple concept. But you know, unfortunately, there's audiences out there that I'll just be polite about it. We'll just say new to the market, right? New to numbers, I guess you could say, and who fall for that kind of stuff daily. And when you get a lot of these Tesla stock promoters together, I'm just talking about Tesla stock, but there's any number of, you know, companies that do this kind of stuff, or, you know, there's any number of, how do you want to say it, meme type stocks out there. When they work in packs because it gives you reassurance. So like if Ford, you know, it's always dudes, and occasionally there's females who pump stocks in crypto too. There totally are, but I'll say the majority, we'll say 85% are dudes. You get like, you know, 5 dudes in a Zoom chat or whatever, and they're all like, oh yeah, revenue, oh yeah. And like no one ever brings up earnings or profits. It's like, come on. And I make videos about this stuff, and then it makes people mad. It makes audiences mad because they say, oh, Chris, you're so negative. But, you know, I just keep doing what I do because I prefer to be honest with you guys. So talking about the stock promotion stuff, you got to disclose that you're paid. Now, here's the thing. Let's say I disclose that I'm paid, but I just outright lie to you. That's illegal, right? But how do you enforce this kind of stuff? Because someone can say, well, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Or you misrepresent like opportunities for a company. So, for example, say with the ticker symbol U, and because I see comments, guys, I see it. They'll say, oh, well, you know, X penny stock company's got like a partnership with big company. And you have to understand like what this stuff is. So if we had like a you know, not partnership, but if we had like, say, a sales order, right, to where like you're going to be getting tons of money from said thing, like they're literally going to send you money. And I say, oh, okay, I get that, right? But like, guys, when someone just says, just for example, and this is how you can misrepresent stuff, if they say, oh, we got a partnership, like, unless you read the details and don't know exactly what that partnership is, I mean, the partnership could be something as simple as like, and because you can misrepresent stuff, you can say, oh, well, we both bought tickets to go to a meeting of a conference where like all the companies are going to be there, and then, you know, the stock promoters are saying, oh, it's a partnership, right? Or partnership could be, it's like they're going to, you know, have a Zoom call once a month to talk for 15 minutes about possible something, right? Do you guys see what I'm saying here? Like there's a lot of gray area in how you interpret this stuff. So that's why, you know, when you see like people overplaying something. A simple example would be with Tesla stock. When we talk about Tesla stock, it's easy to talk about. We talk about it on this channel a lot. When Elon Musk literally tweets out, it was just yesterday, that if their software works, the FSD, the robot driving, that their Tesla cars will replace all the buses in the world. And he literally, Elon Musk really said that. And like, then, you know, the Tesla stock promoters are going to be like, oh my God, guys, Tesla's going to be like replacing all the buses. Like that kind of stuff. It's, you know, legally it's a gray area because they can say, well, that's just my opinion. It's just my opinion that Tesla cars are going to replace all buses. But like, you know, for me, that gets into the realm of just, are you just outright lying? Are you outright misrepresenting, et cetera? And to be really frank with you guys, it depends how good of a lawyer you have or whatever, if someone comes and charges you. But the problem is the SEC, again, is underfunded. So this is where we get into the realm of sort of, you know, why I talk about this stuff, guys, frauds and scams all the time with you, because I frankly see it everywhere on YouTube. I see it everywhere on YouTube. And that's why I always go back to the default answer if someone says, if X channel is it good or bad or whatever. Guys, if they're trying to sell you scammy classes, scammy discourse, scammy buy-sell alerts, if they don't tell you all the information, if they only tell you positives, they don't tell you negatives, it's a total scam, right? And the problem is because it's hard to enforce this stuff, there's a lot of gray area, and frankly, a lot of this stuff actually is legal in some sense, people are going to still get away with it. And I say legal in some sense because there's so much gray areas with this stuff. It is frustrating. So I say the same thing all the time when we chat on this channel. I'm just trying to build a community with you. If you want independent thought, if you want to hang out with a community that, hey, we just try to find the truth of this stuff and try to do well in this world, you come to the right place on this channel. And if you want just, you know, general investing advice, guys, save money, sock it away. Don't be gambling all the time. Gambling is where you're trying to take the quote moonshots. That's the language that we saw the ticker symbol use, you know, guy use. But you know, index funds are good because when you're in a fund, essentially, you're going to market perform. So that means you're not going to get, you know, down any kind of rabbit hole where CEOs could be bankrupting the company, making some sort of shady deals, whatever. And this kind of stuff goes all the time in Wall Street. I'm not against you guys buying individual stocks. You know, if you want to do that, no problem. Just make sure that you're limiting your exposure to where you're not going to lose everything. Again, if the CEO goes crazy, I'm just using an example of that, which we've seen this kind of thing. I think that's why a lot of people get really upset when you talk about the antics of Elon Musk, because essentially he's going crazy and costing a lot of people a lot of money. And some people, that's the only stock that they have, and it's a real shame. So this is sort of why an index fund protects you from that, insulates you from that, to where, yes, you're still investing in the market, but you're not overexposing yourself to that kind of thing. And I always say the same thing as well. It's not just index funds, guys. It's not just stocks, you know, CDs, bonds. Have a good career. I can't say that enough. Have a job. Have money coming in. Don't depend on, you know, the whims of whatever company to make or break it for you. That's just part of your financial well-being. So I know these kind of discussions can be long-winded. I just have a lot on my mind. And also, too, I like to get outside, actually, to be honest. The weather's really nice these days here in Busan. And true story, if you're still watching this video, tomorrow, my wife and I, we're going to a cool conference. It's like an interior design conference, or not conference, that's the right word to say, expo. So we'll probably make a video over there, you'll be able to see it. And this is just a preview and a surprise. On Friday, we're going to go see a Cybertruck if all things go out, turn out well. So I'm actually looking forward to myself. I have not seen one in person. So please stay tuned, please subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video.